Show us. That doesn't really work, does it? Have you tried? Oh, that's good. Oh, fantastic. Oh, fantastic. Better. So much better. What a fantastic, fantastic tune. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young man, there's no need to feel down. Young man, pick yourself off the ground. I've been Donald Trump. Thank you and good night.
Then what time?
This one's from Jeremy in Wisconsin. And it says, Tuffy brand coffee is the best coffee in the world. Thanks for the grift.
Anyway, I'm going to find out who this quartering character is. And when I do, he's going to get a bit of the old ice-troll treatment.
From loathing Brie Larson to being the unofficial #1 fan site for Brie Larson.
How about a handshake? You're gonna give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle, and in return, I'm gonna let you keep your hand.
Well, it looks like there's immediately some technical issues. Apparently, well, it says Rumble. People said it's not live on Rumble, but okay.
We are. We're on.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it's working for me.
Yeah,
I just refreshed it, and I see our
faces.
Nice mugs on there.
Yeah, that's weird. The one on the homepage isn't working. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's working. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. It seems to be working for me.
You boomer?
Well, I was just saying. I was reading the chat. That's all. Like
great customer service, responsive.
Yeah. I was reading the chat. Chat was I was saying it wasn't working.
You should hire someone from one of those H1-B visa programs to come help you do customer service for you.
No, actually, it's weird. Like people are literally spurging out in the Rumble chat about it not working. But
good. I'm glad they're defending us. They're like, Rumble.
It's totally working fine for me. Yeah, it's totally working fine. So I don't know what to tell people. You know what? I wonder if they're in the wrong. Close app started again. Now it's working for me. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, you're obviously able to chat. So I don't know. Yeah. How was everybody's Tuesday night?
It was good.
Yeah. We all got the note today. We got the fashion note. Everyone in their Monochromatics. Love to see it. Yeah, love to see it.
I'm working on my Halloween costume. I had a great night doing some fun.
I can tell it's pretty scary. Yeah.
Yeah, we it's pretty terrifying, the reality of my Halloween costume. I have a portion of it. You want to see it?
Yeah.
No, I feel like I don't.
Oh,
I knew this was happening.
I love it. Yeah.
It's coming along. It's coming along. Thank you.
It looks pretty good. Yeah.
Thank you, H, for the inspiration. I really appreciate it. How's the pumpkin?
I think you inspired yourself, to be honest. You reminded yourself of one of your favorite bedtime stories.
Don't be hating.
You have to just print like the front of the costume, the front of the front of the costume. Just have either like a picture of the Google image and then just type Lindsey Graham's Ladybugs and then just have that like printed out.
Yeah, look how happy this guy looks like. Look how
Not for long.
He looks really
though,
he looks really happy actually. Yeah.
He doesn't know what's about to be done to him.
Well, I mean, he's gonna be on Luke's ass, apparently. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
How's the Halloween pumpkin? Also, we're doing a fun rifle training soon as well. So I'm super excited about all the self-defense stuff going on. Super love that stuff though. It's gonna be a fun week. How's the pumpkin baby costume going along?
There is still no pumpkin. Although I appreciate that yesterday Jeremy was like, "Look, you should maybe just buy some sort of backup costume just in case the flea doesn't work out."
I'm just saying I know what it's like to have big dreams.
I told my husband that, and he was like,
reality.
"Well, this makes me extra motivated. I'm definitely going to get it done now."
Well, yeah, okay, we'll see. I believe in him. I'm just saying
it's not appropriate for me to second guess him, head of the household and whatnot. But
yeah,
it's not a costume that I have a clear vision for, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let it be known that I have the utmost faith in him. I've been there. Life happens, and that's a thing. I wanted to start with if we could watch a little bit of this. James O'Keefe just released I feel like O'Keefe, I don't know if it's, why do you think he doesn't get like the coverage that he used to? Is it just because of the name change? Because I feel like he's been dropping bombs and then people are just like, like, I don't know why it's not blowing up like it used to.
Sometimes I think I'm doubling. I don't want to ruin the audio here.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, sometimes I think that the bombs get too complicated. Like, we don't have a central rallying point right now. So when he was releasing stuff about like pharmaceutical companies and everyone was like, yes, that's definitely wrong. It was something that was tapping into what was already in the national attention.
Yeah. I mean, are you doubling now still?
Yeah.
What the hell? So now StreamYard is fricked up too.
I'm not doubling like this. So it might just because you have the sound ready for like when
but usually we can. Is it doubling now?
Let's see. No.
But I muted it now. So that's so weird. Every once in a while, like StreamYard decides that it doesn't want to work right. I guess that's part of it. I think that's probably part of it. Like it's probably this one is a little bit complicated. But like, can we take a moment to point out that he may have worn the world's worst? I mean, is his wig on backwards? It looks
possibly.
It looks like his wig. What if can you guys hear it or no? Probably
not. No.
All right. Share that they do all the work. No. So we do.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
But are you doubling?
Yes.
Damn it! What the hell?
But we don't have to talk. Just play the clip and then go back to the other way that you do.
All right. Well, I want to play the new one because this one was funny. So basically, he reveals that there's $100 billion in contracting scam. I love that his hair is as ridiculous as this other guy's hair. Well, maybe let's just play a little bit of this so people can get the idea. Oh wait, you guys can't hear it. Hold on.
Contractors use like 80%. 80%. I don't know if we want to share that they do all the work. No. So we do about 20% of the work.
20%.
Right?
These government contractors like ATI taking advantage of their special minority-owned status.
And I tell you, pass-throughs are a great thing as well. So a lot of our subcontractors bid on contracts that were perfect in their industry, but because they weren't Native American, they wouldn't win it. So we bid on it for them. They became our sub, and it's an automatic win.
You know what's hilarious is just how like
now your audio is very low.
Now mine is.
Yeah,
that's because I turned off the automatic. I was futzing with stuff. All right, we can try that. That might be okay. I like that this person is basically committing the lowest level crime in history, but she's whispering like she's a criminal mastermind. She's just committing fraud. It's really not that complicated. Essentially, she's saying, hey, the government subsidizes for like Native Americans and I whore out, I do the bare minimum. This is a tale as old as time. Like wherever there's government money, there is
waste.
Yeah. Do you think the power of suggestion, like, because he's whispering, she's like, okay, I'll whisper because you don't want me to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Your audio's still very low comparatively to us, by the way. Yeah, yours is like, it's like you're down the hallway. It's very low.
That's so weird.
I think it's Luke's fault. I think Luke has muted your mic because he's
listen, H. You come out loud and clear. And
How
you're
about
very,
now?
There, the two of us.
How about now?
Okay, Beyonce, you're back. You're the head of this show.
All right. I don't know. There's like a Windows update or something like that, and then usually whenever the hell that happens, all hell breaks loose for like a couple days. And I don't know.
Literally give me any reason. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense to me. I like
Windows,
the weather, whatever.
I restarted my computer yesterday after the show, and then all these problems start. So I don't know why StreamYard is doing that. It really shouldn't be, but with the playing the audio, we'll get around it for now. But
StreamYard just didn't want Rumble to have all the fun. It was like, Rumble's giving you trouble. We should give you trouble.
Yeah. That's probably it. You have this guy. Then he released another video just a few minutes ago. Basically, another federal contractor admits to $100 million in fraud. I mean, James is out there really doing like his Act Blue stuff. How come that went nowhere? Like to me, I watched his Act Blue stuff. I was like, holy shit, this is obvious money laundering. Like, obviously.
I think financial crimes, this is horrible to say, but I think they are just basically not as fun to follow. Like they're technical, they're complicated, and it just makes people like their eyes glaze over. We have a financial literacy problem in America anyways, lots of credit card debt. For some reason, we keep taking out student loans. It's not surprising to me that then when it's like, here's fraud and how it's conducted, people are like, whoa, crazy. I don't even know. And then like fade.
I mean, 100 million, that's a drop in the bucket compared to the $38 trillion that we're in debt.
Yeah, I know, but this is how you get there. You get there a few million at a time.
Within the last 4 years, I think we increased our national debt $10 trillion. I mean, that is astounding, and that is terrifying, and that is something that I think everyone should be extremely worried about. Now, again, $100 million, that's a lot, but for the average American with so much money just being wasted away, I mean, it's like, oh, yeah, look, these people are scamming government. The government is a scam in itself. Right? We're being scammed so much, and I think this is a byproduct of Elon Musk not being able to finish the job or do his job. When he first came into this administration, he was stopped from doing it. There's still so much fraud, waste, and abuse. It is just crazy. And it should be on this administration to fix it. And, sadly, they haven't done that. They've done a way better job than any other administration in my life, but there's still so much more that they could do.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's also that people are like, of course, these people are scamming. Like, we'll never see that money. Like, it's just like depressing.
It's apathy. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I definitely blackpilled after the Elon Doge fallout. Really, Elon should have just let Doge do his thing, but he tried to be too much of a personality. I think Elon loved the celebrity of being the first buddy.
I don't blame him. I blame that it was kind of, I think, a backdoor plan for Palantir, which was a big issue, first of all. But it wasn't even just him. The other public officials that stopped him from doing his job, that's the gripe that I have.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But I still feel like this is a major oh yeah, there's something up with Rumble because it says there's 0 viewers too. I don't know. I mean, you guys, well, our main show shows 12,000 and rising, so it's clearly working.
Yeah, it's working.
Rumble Studios is having some sort of issue.
It's trying to compete with StreamYards, let me tell you.
Yeah, I really got blackpilled when Doge fell apart. I feel like we accomplished almost nothing. Like they got rid of USAID and that was it. And
that was like 1% of the budget.
Yeah.
Still a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
A lot. Yeah. But like I feel like just like with the Epstein files, I kind of feel like there was a big learning moment for a guy like Dan Bongino or Kash Patel who came in and was like, I'm going to release the Epstein files. People are like, easy player. You're not going to be doing that.
Sure.
The same was true with Doge. Like Trump's like, Elon was probably like, hey, can I get in the Federal Reserve? And Trump's like, oh, whatever. And then whatever powers that be were like,
it's like
no.
Bureaucratic blockade.
Yeah,
like,
you're not getting in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can we audit Fort Knox? Yeah, we're going to do that soon. Just any moment now.
Yeah,
Fort Knox is like, we're looking for the key. We can't find it. Come back later.
Mm-hmm. I think that's also why so many people like. There are, by the way, 1 million contractors that you do this exact same type of abuse, where they're actually, it's not even probably technically fraud. The way these contracts are often written is that, like, the reason they pick we do 20% of the work is because that's what the contract says.
Mm-hmm.
The contract says you must at least be 20% Native American, and there are entire Native American companies that their entire scam is doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like when you hear
this
about
is not uncommon.
There'll be like government contractors where it's like a husband-wife business, but it'll be like, it's a woman-owned business because she's like part of the owner. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, this stuff is pretty low level. You fix it by saying there will be no endowments based on your race. That's really how you fix. There's no government programs for Native Americans. That's how you fix it, because no matter however you set up the program, it's going to be gamed. So the only solution is to get rid of the program. It's just like EBT. Like, I know this is a hot take, and I know that I have viewers who are on EBT, and we're going to talk about this later. I want to be clear that, like, I don't have a problem with people who are on EBT short term or who are legitimately physically or mentally disabled. I don't have a problem with that, or whatever your form of EBT is, or WIC, or whatever it is. Like, I understand. I don't think that makes you a shitty person. The problem is, the only way you're going to fix this program is by getting rid of it, because it is so bad that I don't know how do you fix a program that says you can't have healthy rotisserie chicken, but you can have, deep fried chicken fingers and Mountain Dew. Yeah, like, and that's not even getting into the obvious scams where, like, people are selling EBT for drugs. People are going, I mean, that is a known thing. Like, you just go down to the hood and there will be people outside the grocery store selling their EBT. Like, oh, I'll sell you this $1,000 in EBT that I didn't need anyway for $800 or $700. And then that person will sell it for, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
there is so much rot in the EBT system, and which I think that's food stamps, technically, whatever. But yeah, 50 cents on the dollar. Like, it's not even necessarily the people that, I guess we might as well transition into it, but like, it's not even the people that are on food stamps that ruin it, that genuinely need it. It's the people who just get into it because it's a grift for them. Like, I sign up for food stamps because some government tie comes around and tells me to do it and tells me I qualify. So I can't even necessarily blame these people. And it's like, oh, well, I don't need it, so I just sell it. Well, how about you don't take it? Well, why wouldn't I take it? the government said it's free. And so like these people are either so low IQ or so like, I don't know what the word is for it, but like at the same point, like I remember there were a lot of people shaming people for taking PPP loans. I'm like, why? The government steals 50 cents of every dollar I make. I'm taking whatever bailout money they're going to give me. I would rather they didn't have the program. But like my friend who owns a business was like, I didn't take any of that money. I'm like, you're dumb. Like the government steals your money every month anyway. So why wouldn't you take some of it back? This is like a small win. And, you know, now I don't think the Los Angeles Lakers should have been taking COVID relief funds and stuff like that, like they did. But I mean, if you're a small business, fucking take it. So like the same mentality, I think, does probably pass to people who are, you know, at the poverty line or below it. And I guess they're probably like, well, why wouldn't I just take this? But are you seeing some of these melties? Like
oh yeah,
the melties are bonkers.
My algorithm was literally just showing it to me nonstop of people being like, I'm gonna steal, and other people like, if you see people stealing, you're a piece of crap if you stop them from stealing. And I'm like,
yeah, this one went viral. You know, come November 1st, when SNAP benefits get shut off, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. We didn't see anyone, quote, steal food from the store. Nope, that person walked out with a full cart as far as we're all concerned that they paid for. We just didn't see it. We saw nothing. And it's like, this is one of the most infuriating commie talking points. Like, not a lot of things make me get violent or have violent tendencies. In fact, really, I'm only saying this for hyperbole. I've never felt like striking anybody in my entire life. But like when people say this, like this whole theft doesn't hurt anybody is the dumbest fucking brain dead, pardon my language, like the most brain dead take I've ever heard in my life. Like I worked retail. People are like, well, people steal from retail. Who's the real victim? I'm like, hello, every other paying customer. Do you think the fucking companies are like, well, we had 3% shrink this year, I guess we'll just eat that? No. They baked it into their prices. Like that is, I mean, I worked at Walmart. I worked at Office Max. I worked at Best Buy. The number one thing they talked about all the time was shrink. By the way, most shrink actually happens from employees, and it's not even close. But like shrink is a retail term, but it's really theft.
And the price and the consequences goes down to the consumer that, of course, is adjusted to everything that you're paying for. And it's like groceries are already record high. We're literally like screwing over the American beef industry to import beef from Argentina, allegedly.
I know. That's another thing too. Yeah,
help out Americans. But I sent you some interesting memes and a video compilation of some of the freakouts. I don't know if I think the first one's maybe a little too inappropriate.
Girl's comment is really stupid because she's skipping the fact that theft means that everything gets put behind plastic and locked up. Like.
Right.
What do you mean that there are no consequences? You hear this all the time where it's like, well, they're a big corporation, so it doesn't matter. Like it impacts your community.
Yeah.
Like I think you're thinking too short term here.
Well, it's like it's the dumbest brain dead take that like this same woman's gonna go on there and guarantee you if I go through her feed, she'll be like, oh, Trump's economy, gas is so expensive. Trump groceries are so expensive in Trump's economy. It's like, yeah, well, if we didn't have an entire state encouraging retail theft like California, again, I'm not simping for corporations here, but I also am saying like you're an actual like on the scale of IQ, you are dictionarily retarded if you think that shit like this, which is like I saw this video going viral too, like. This is anybody who's been in Walmart on the 1st of the month or the 4th and the 13th. I forget exactly, but the 1st of the month thing is kind of a meme. When I worked at Walmart, it was like the 4th and the 14th or the 13th. But
it's like the first 2 weekends or like the first and like third weekend of the month.
Yeah, it depends where your last name is too. Like for a lot of the government checks, like old people on Social Security, it goes by like your last name initial, I think, based on when you get. Not everybody gets their check on the 1st of the month, but. Yeah, I mean, this is EBT.
This, y'all, this is why. This is
You got audio now, right? I got that fixed.
why. This is why. Cause what? 3 carts full, y'all. Let me pass your receipt. This guy said, y'all, they didn't even buy it, and that's what making me even more mad.
I don't get what his point is.
And everything won't even rung up yet, y'all. $1,013.
But what is he talking about? There's no. This is a rage bait. He's not talking about EBT.
This is why. This is why I be mad at work. This is why I don't want to work on the first or the second.
Oh, yes, it is. There it is. So this is an EBT customer. He's an actual worker. Yeah, and look what they're buying. Garbage.
Trash.
First of all, dog food shouldn't be on EBT, but it's all garbage. Rice Krispie treats, ramen, frozen vegetables. I had like a whole, some of these you got to be careful because they're rage bait. Like the most viral one was fake. This is my favorite one. Shopping at Walmart on the next month with no H1-B workers and EBT shutdown. It's like, this is so great. Yeah, I mean, here's some of the more meltdowns.
Donald motherfucking Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like.
By the way, they're all fat. You notice that?
Yeah.
All these people who are desperate for Gooberman handouts. Every video I saw, I did a video on it today because, of course, it'll probably do well. But like, almost every one of them was a medically obese woman bitching about their EBT going away. And I'm like, you got plenty of food.
A little fasting won't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should have stretched your. And by the way, everybody knows it's coming, so you should have been stretching your October food. Again, like.
I think you're thinking too long term. Like again, with the other person's like, just steal from the corporations. It's fine. Like you have to have a certain ability to plan ahead or like self-discipline to go without, to be like, oh, well, we don't know when this government shutdown's going to end. I'm going to.
Yeah, you should maybe not live high off the hog. You should always stretch it. You should be buying stuff that lasts. And like, I know I see people in chat who are clearly on some form of government assistance and they're getting triggered. If you feel like I'm attacking you, then I can't really. I've said I don't have any issue if you're on like short-term disability or you're like permanently medically disabled or you're like temporarily unemployed. Everybody knows we're not talking about you. If you're like, I got laid off, I'm in between jobs, I'm on food stamps. I am talking about you if you've been on food stamps for a year. You know, I am talking about you if you're making YouTube videos or TikTok videos talking about how you're just going to steal because it's not like you're going to go hungry. You got $1,000 smartphone. Why don't you pawn it and get some food then? Or why don't you go get a flipping job? Like if like, you know, yeah, people go through financial hardship. I'm not going to pretend like they don't, but I have been consistently employed since I've been 13 years old without a single period of unemployment. Okay. And I, for most of that period of time, have not brought significant skills to the table. What I'm saying is there's work for able-bodied people who are willing to take it. Do you think I wanted to work I had a 4-year college degree. You know where I worked? A computer repair place and a pizza joint, neither of which used my college degree. So like, I don't want to hear people's excuses about, like, I worked 2 shitty jobs. Well, the computer repair job was all right, but like, it wasn't enough money. So I worked an extra job making pizzas at a place called Big Mouth Pizza. And like, again, if you're not able-bodied or you have other, you know, some medical reason or whatever, who cares? I don't have a problem with people. Sorry for the rant, but I get so annoyed when people are like, stop talking about me. I'm on food stamps. You don't understand. I'm like, look, if you've been on food stamps for 2 months, I'm not talking about you. If you've been on food stamps for a year and you're in my audience, I am talking about you.
Yeah. Now listen, there's some people who legitimately, you know, need it and want and deserve the help. But there's also a huge amount of people abusing the system. Like I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people.
Everybody has, right?
You know, even growing up in New York City, you know, I was around, you know, Section 8 housing, And then a lot of the people were scamming the whole entire system very effectively. To the point where they're like, why should I work? Why should I do any of this stuff? Because I'm incentivized here to do my little side hustles, right? To flaunt all the Benjamins that I'm getting, but also at the same time declare that I'm poor because I'm running a entrepreneurial cash pharmacy business on the side. So clearly, I have more radical ideas towards these type of solutions. I think we would be better if we did regenerative farming and community farming and tried to kind of implement like agriculture programs that actually teach people how to be self-sufficient. I think that would be a lot more beneficial than just dumping a bunch of money and being like, yeah, guys, do whatever you want with it here. And now we want to make sure that you could buy sugary sodas with it as well, because the sugary soda industry is going to buy off some right-wing influencers to promote that idea. That seems like a great thing.
Buzzing.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, there should be a healthy middle ground here that incentivizes individuals not to be on the government teeth, because this also promotes another form of not just welfare abuse, but also the destruction of the family unit, where a lot of women are de-incentivized from being married or having families because they get more benefits when they don't. Right.
Or they are disincentivized from taking, long-term responsibility.
Exactly.
You see all these videos. I got 4 kids to feed. Why'd you have 4? What if you couldn't feed the first one? Why'd you have 3 more after it? I just don't have. Sorry, you all know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fat inner city government losers who have never fucking worked. That's who I'm talking about. All right. So if like these people, like, what am I gonna do, bitch? What did everybody do? What did my parents do when my dad got laid off? My dad got laid off like either right as my mom was going to give birth or right after it. You know what he did? My mom went to work. My dad stayed home with the kids so they could afford to feed us. And then he, when we were old enough for a babysitter, he went out and got whatever the first fucking job he could have. Whatever, you just work. And you like this idea of like there's no jobs is fucking nonsense. There's no jobs. I can't do anything. Again, if you're physically disabled, mentally disabled, or simply between jobs, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about obese inner city people who have lived their entire life off white taxpayer dollars, by the way.
And I think part of it is anyone who scams this system or who is like doing their EBT hauls on what they can buy with the money. Actually,
I have a good one. Yeah.
Well, like if you are on
the $900 EBT haul and it was all junk food, I'm like,
right, like,
dude.
I think that makes people crazy. If you're someone who is in hard times or has some issue, like if we had a system that we were like, yeah, this is like to help people out when they are in times of trouble, as opposed to like this is a system that people are abusing and the rest of us are pulling our hair out because it's so broken, like. If you are on EBT for a hardship related reason temporarily, I get it. That happens. You should also be mad at these people because they are making everyone look bad.
Yeah. They're the ones that represent you. It's like what I said about the trans community. Like the trans people would always be like, hashtag not all trans people. And I'm like, look at who you allow to represent you. You're not speaking out against this shit. Where are all the people who are on EBT making TikTok videos being like, I'm on EBT too, and fuck this person? I've never seen a single video like that. Not one. Not saying they don't exist, and they probably don't go viral for the same reasons. But I mean, the same with trans people. Well, we're not all crazy lunatics. I'm like, really? I mean, where are the normal trans people? Yeah. I don't see you. You're all over line talking about killing people and trans, AK-47 t-shirts and all this bullshit. Where are the normal trans people? You keep telling me you can't let these people represent you, which is kind of what I think a little bit of what's going on the right now, which we have like a little bit, we could talk about a little bit later. I want to be a little bit more nuanced with that. I had this haul video. Yeah.
And we're not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I got to work 20 hours a week.
This guy's fake. He's a comedian. So you got to be careful with this rage bait. Yeah, there's a lot of rage bait.
There was a skit that I think we actually played a couple months ago of a woman telling her son not to work because they don't want to get rid of their Section 8. That was a skit as well.
Yeah, the blacks know that they can create anti-black rage bait, and it works very good, and good on them. That's entrepreneurial thought. I mean,
credit where credit is due, Jeremy says. We're
in a different era where I'm not mincing words anymore. Like, obviously, the black community knows they can make these videos and they're going to go viral with people. But like, this is a video, like, for example, that and again, the last time, in fact, I pay 50% taxes. All right. I pay for this shit. So I get to have my opinion on EBT. I've never taken a food stamp in my life, and I've only paid for them. All right. So if you're offended by my take, I get it, but get a job. And if you can't get a job, then I'm not talking about you. But look at this shit with food stamps.
Sam's Club haul with $900 food.
Hot Pockets, Eggo waffles, Frito chips, and she's as big as a house.
Yep. Yeah, big
Again,
lady.
Is this rage bait? I don't know. But, you know.
3 boxes of these chips. There were 18.
And she's my body type, Hannah Claire. So, you know, I'm going to have X.
I know I've made this point before, but like.
Bitch, buy a bra.
That's not on EBT. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I have no idea if it is. I've said this before. Like, I think one of the biggest detriments in American education was that we took away things like home economics. Like, if you have a box of Eggo waffles, I don't know how much that costs, but like, I know flour and eggs are cheaper, and you could make more and you could freeze them. Like, you could still put it in the toaster.
Yeah, these people don't want to. That's the thing, Hannah Claire. They don't like. This is obviously a hot button issue for me, so I'm sorry to cut you off. But like,
no, keep going.
That's the thing. These fuckers are lazy. Look at this woman. She's 150 pounds overweight, 125 at least. She's buying nothing but processed food. And when they cut her off, she's going to say, what could I possibly have done? What am I supposed to do? Like, even the people, I talked a little about it in a different video, like, people are like, Egg McMuffins are $9.25 each now, I guess. And
we have Egg McMuffin at home if you buy the groceries correctly.
Dude, exactly. I said, you know, I was covering it this morning, and the article was like, but poor people. I'm like, McDonald's isn't for poor people. It hasn't been for poor people since fucking 1990. Back when you could get an extra value meal for $3, it was for working class people. I wouldn't even say poor, working class. Those days ended, I don't know, 2010, 2008. When I was in college, I lived, when my metabolism was better, you know, you could live off that shit. $3 extra value meal, got a quarter pounder fries and a soda for $3. That hasn't happened for a long time.
Dollar menu, dollar cheeseburgers.
Yeah, right. Dollar double cheeseburger.
Dollar cheeseburgers.
Exactly. It wasn't like you weren't like this is great. You're like, this is cheap. And it fills you up.
You get extra onions, you get extra pickles. It's like, I'll take it. It's cheap. Let's go.
Yeah.
Dollar fish sandwich, whatever. Like,
yeah, those days are gone. And and first of all, so then the people bitching about that $9.25 Egg McMuffin, I'm like, I could make 2 dozen Egg McMuffins for $10. Like, are you kidding me? It's an egg, an English muffin, and a slice of shitty government cheese. That's all it is. Oh, a ham, I guess. No, a piece of sausage. The sausage would be the most expensive part. But I guarantee I can make at least a dozen of them for $10. And like good, decent quality meat and decent quality. This idea that like, it's just entitlement. Like these people, I guess part of it is,
but we're also financing and subsidizing shitty lifestyles, right? These people aren't becoming happier. They're not becoming healthier. They're becoming more subsistent on the system.
They're going to be.
This is the tough love that they need to hear in order to help them rise up from government oppression, because this is what the government wants. They want you on welfare. They want you subsidized by them. They want you living in the pods and being their slave. So people need to hear that tough love, but also bigger picture looking out from this. It's like when you look at the big welfare queens, like, yeah, I don't like any type of welfare queens, but these are small players compared to the military industrial complex that are the biggest welfare queens that take so much of our money. The Federal Reserve banking system takes so much of our money, and they're the ones creating this crappy situation for all of us. And that's why we really do have to take this situation seriously to become more self-reliant, self-sufficient now more than ever. Get chickens, grow some vegetables. Let's get a community garden going. You need to do that because I think we are facing a Great Depression-like crash soon. And the only thing that's going to save you, it's not you sitting on your butt being like, I'm going to rob and steal if you don't give me my money. The only thing that's going to save you is you by being self-reliant.
Yeah, speaking of it, this is coming up next, but like, this is a really telltale sign. But and like, just so you know, I don't know these guys' work history, but like, you know, I've worked at, like, a lot of people. Hopefully, my position is a position of credibility because I've worked my entire life. I wasn't somebody whose first job was an internet commentator, and I worked most of my adult life until my late 30s before I ever really even started doing this shit full time. And people say like, not everybody on food stamps is lazy. True, but most people are. Like, most people don't want to hear that shit. Most people don't want to make the Egg McMuffin at home. Like, I grew up decently, but I lived on my own. You know, my parents both work in factories, but it's not like I ever went hungry. But when I was out on my own, man, we were like taking ketchup from McDonald's and watering it down, you know, making tomato soup, like all sorts of shit like that to stretch our dollars. And it seems like we've completely lost that either that skill or that willingness to say like, fuck, okay, well, like the whole add breadcrumbs to ground beef to make it last longer or whatever. Like, people just don't do that anymore, I don't think.
There's an argument that I read a couple different times that basically social media is, promotes consumerism, or like you need the thing, or this is how other people live. And because younger generations are basically like, I'm never going to be able to buy housing, I can't do whatever, they're prone to more reckless spending because it's all like,
maybe stop drinking a $9 Starbucks every day. Yeah.
Right. Because like, I'll never get a house anyway, so who cares? And like, it's not, I sympathize with it enormously, but also it's not actually how that works. Like, you still should be cutting there, saving here, doing what you can if you're trying to meet any kind of financial goal. I think the dependency, which Lucas talked about, but also just sort of this like apathy and doomerism is what is making people give up some of the tried and true ways of like bootstrapping your way up in the world.
I'm so glad you wrote this, or you said that, because here's this tweet from Hank Green, who is a dumb fuck, far leftist, liberal dork, millionaire, out of touch, whatever. Okay. However, there's an article that wrote, YouTuber Hank Green advises young people to invest 5% of their net worth in new ideas, even if they fail. And so what is a viral response to that? Receiving 26,000 likes. I hate Hank. I like Hank, but gosh damn, dude, read the room. This is Gen Z energy to a T. Like, well, I'll never be a millionaire, so I won't even try. And like, you see even like Asmongold right here. You know, this guy's a multimillionaire, right? He lives like he's a crackhead, but he's super, super successful. He's probably got 20 million in the bank. Comments like this reinforce the growing toxic culture of losers on social media who want all media to never challenge them to improve themselves. They pick apart good advice and turn themselves into victims to avoid any accountability for their own life circumstances. Like, fucking 1,000%. And then people don't have 5% to spare. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I lived there. I lived there for years. You know how you get an extra 5% to invest? You work a second job. You know, you don't buy that Starbucks. You don't pay for the highest internet tier. You don't, maybe you go ad supported on your Netflix. Okay. We're not talking about if you're, I don't know what to say of young people. I don't know what you would define as young. Maybe they make $40,000. You're talking about 5% of that is $2,000 a year or $40 a week. Okay. Less than $40 a week. That'd be a half of an extra shift. That'd be 2 extra hours at your job per week. Are you willing to do that? Or do you want to tweet on Twitter about how you can't succeed? Like, I'm fine with you saying you don't want to do it, but don't act like there's not opportunity there.
Right. I mean, people will do this all the time, like going through like people's budgets and being like, how many times did you DoorDash something? Like, did you really need to do that?
There's a reason that guy's super popular. The kid, whatever, the chubby guy.
I don't know what his name is, but good for him.
Caleb Hammer, I think. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's it. Like, it's again, like there's a financial literacy problem. It's a lot of culminations of cultural issues coming to a head. People thinking they must have all of the things everyone else has, or everyone's door dashing, so I should be able to do it too. Like, I don't know the creator's name.
I never door dashed in my life till I was 41.
I mean,
what are you talking about?
Dinosaur wasn't around when you were a kid.
No,
I'm kidding.
I didn't order delivery pizza either. Because delivery pizza, after COVID, they started charging delivery charges. So I'm like, I have to tip you and pay a $3 delivery charge? Get fucked. Like,
yeah, delivery used to be free.
Yeah, delivery was free until COVID. Yeah, until COVID, all delivery was free. Then they're like, well, let's gouge people. That was the only reason they did it, is because they could. And then it never went away. So I don't order pizza now.
Well, they learned people would pay the fee. So like, because they still want it delivered. There's some creator, I don't know the name, and it's a family, so I don't know that I would share it anyways, but they make videos about how, like, when they were young, they bought a house. It basically was like too much for them. They had 3 kids. And so they downsized to like a 1-bedroom apartment. And they're like, we're going to live like this for a year. And then we're going to come out and do whatever. And I find, like, yeah, that's kind of an extreme. On the other hand, like, if you want a way out, there is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think it's easy to live in a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 young children. Like,
well, you know what we did when we were just scraping by? We had a 2-bedroom apartment and we had a roommate. And so there were 3 people in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I rented that room to a complete stranger. Like, it wasn't like it was our buddy living with us. It was like, we need an extra $350 a month. Does Jeremy need an office? Do we need this other room? No, I guess we don't. It was a little annoying when this guy thinks he's going to be a DJ and he's like playing his shitty music at night. Yeah, it was maybe the worst roommate ever. And then he like just stopped. He stopped paying rent, so I changed the locks. And then like he just never picked up his shit. It was like thousands of dollars in DJ. Who never picked it up.
So did you sell that then and put that in your investment account?
I can't say what I did with it, but I will say that, you know, we're square now.
DJ like, quartering over here. Joining James O'Keefe on the play.
Oh my gosh!
No, it just disappeared.
James O'Keefe musical collab when?
No, it just disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. But like at that time we were taking like payday loans and we were doing everything we could to get by. So it's like, I don't have a lot of time for this bullshit. We're like, oh, I can't work, blah, blah. Bitch, I worked at fucking Walmart, okay? And like, and I worked in the radio cafe where they had, back in the day, Walmart used to have their cafe where you could get like hot dogs. Now they're all Subways. But they actually used to have their own cafe. And like, this is not, like, I don't have a lot of time for this attitude. Like, yeah, I don't think most people are thinking about investing 5% of their money, but you know, what if you put 5% of your money in a high yield savings account, you know, and you find a way to put $2,000 a year in an account that pays 4% interest, you know, just find a way. You could find a way. You could, you know, even when I worked full time, I would still fix computers on the side. I would do side jobs constantly. My wife worked full time at the hospital and then she still took extra shifts at Walgreens. You know, like, I just don't have a lot of time, again, unless you're physically injured, or you're physically disabled or, you know, whatever, you're between jobs, sure. But like an entire generation was expertly, now my cats piss on my $30,000 couches. Yeah, see, you too can be considerable.
You earned the right.
But I mean, I didn't have any breaks anyone else didn't have.
You should piss on them too.
Right, I know. I've considered it. Well, I don't know if I gave you an update, but the insurance company paid out.
Yeah? How much?
Yeah, all of it. I got 100% of my money back for the couches 3 years after I bought them. Now, it's store credit, and I really don't want to shop there anymore, but so what? I mean, it's a blessing. I didn't think they were going to pay out, you know?
I just like that story of you being like, talking to the salesperson and being like, including cat urine in your warranty, right? And they're like, yes. And you're like, and then here's the brochure. Like,
yeah. Well, they had no choice. And I was like, I will take you to court because this is a lot of money. Like this, I'll make time and I'll turn it into content. Like I'm very lucky in that way.
Tax write-off.
Yeah. Right. I mean, but yeah, this Gen, I don't know if it's a Gen Z or what's younger than Gen Z. Is it Gen
Beta?
Beta? Wow, that's fitting. But like this attitude of like, oh, I can't do anything. Like, yeah, people don't have 5%. He says losers listen to what a person says. Winners listen to what a person means. Yeah. I mean, he's 100% right. This crabs in a bucket thing, man. I earned every fucking thing I got in my life. That's why I don't have a lot of time for whiners. Like, I don't have a lot of time for, I got family members that are still holding their hand out to me. I'm like, hey man, no one was giving me money. You know, I got help out with a couple of loans that family co-signed for me. when my credit card debt was out of control, but I didn't get
Jeremy,
any fucking handouts.
If you remember last year, I lost everything.
I know
Right?
you did, and you didn't ask me for a handout.
And how
you
did
said,
I get
"Hey,
out
can
of
I
it?
do work? Can I work more? Can I do more work, please?" Yeah,
That's a rare concept. You know,
it's
but,
foreign
I think
now.
I think we need that concept. I'm doing better now. I'm surviving, and I think it all matters on long-term gratification, short-term gratification. But there's a lot of people, especially with social media, especially with adult content. People don't understand like that adult content fries your prefrontal cortex to not want to prioritize long-term gratification. Everything's short-term gratification.
Yeah,
That's what these new
The dopamine
generation of
hits.
young people are literally bred to, with these kind of dopamine blasting social media algorithms and phone devices that are literally creating a bunch of dependent people to live off of the teeth of the government forever. And now there's politicians literally talking about UBIs, universal basic incomes.
We
There's
have it
talks about-
already. It's fucking welfare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But they want
do you know
everyone on
42
it.
million people? 42 million people in this country are on. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
10% of the population.
And they want everyone on it to the point where, of course, they disincentivize people from starting their own businesses, starting their entrepreneurships. Listen, I did very well this year, but guess what? I'm looking at my bank account and I'm like, vast majority of that is going to go to taxes now.
I'll be right back.
Vast majority of the money that I've earned that I made, the government's going to take again. And I'm like, okay,
it's crazy.
yeah.
It's the
So
worst part about being
all right,
self-employed.
I worked hard. I worked my butt off. And then you see other people are like, I don't need to work. I'm not going to work. Why?
Well, and like you said, the government wants you to be dependent on your universal basic income so that when there's another government shutdown, whoever is pushing a large federal government gets to be like, look, they're trying to take it away from you. I mean, it is like a constant emotional pull that certain politicians get to whip out whenever they feel like their power is being threatened. And I hate that as well. It's a difficult position for a lot of people to be in because I understand for some people the anxiety, you know, anytime you like lose a job or there's a financial crunch or whatever, like I have enormous sympathy for that. But I don't know that keeping a broken system in place is actually serving the people.
Yeah. And it's a system that de-incentivizes people from working hard, being entrepreneurs, because although all the rules, laws, regulations, and nonsense and taxes that they have to deal with, you have to pay taxes just to pay other people. It's called payroll tax. And I'm like, why? This is ridiculous. As you know, I think, you know, these conversations are important for a lot of people to understand, especially if they are on government welfare and assistance here, as the system needs to change. It needs to be radically transformed, because if it's not, we're going to be, you know, and I think this is the plan. We're being slow walked into an inevitable form of socialism and communism,
right?
That there's no going back from. I mean, this is what the government wants. This is what the system wants. They want you dependent on the government teat. I don't want no government cheese. I don't want no government teat. Get it out. Shoot. But I also want to make sure I get to keep my wages. And the reason I can't isn't just because of these EBT people, right? And and it's a small portion, right? And if it was just EBT, I wouldn't mind. But it's not just that. It's a whole bunch of waste, fraud, and abuse. And this is the big issue that Trump has to deal with, because if he doesn't address it, and vast majority of people keep getting financially ruined and scammed, and if Trump doesn't fix this kind of inevitable Ponzi Federal Reserve scheme that we're all under, people are not going to view him as a favorable president. He has a situation to now drastically change all of that, get rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse, get rid of this kind of unfair system, get rid of taxes. He's talking about giving people $2,000 checks. No, get rid of taxes. That's the right, proper
pay down debt. Yeah,
thing to do.
Let me get some comments, and then I want to let you guys shout out your channels here. I'm Lur says, I lost my foot in an accident, couldn't work for 2 years, got declined for disability and unemployment by the state of Illinois. I'm not sure how people get government handouts so easily. What
crazy.
Skin color are you? I'm just curious. I don't know. I could tell you this.
It's probably a white man if he's watching
you're probably
your channel.
You're probably a white man. Get black. Yeah, that I don't know how they do it. You know, it's I think when my wife got laid off during COVID and had to file for unemployment, and it was such a pain in the ass, she just didn't even do it. And I was like, no, you should do it because you've been paying into it. And I've been paying into it. You should absolutely. So like forced her. I'm like, no, you fill out for your unemployment because I've been paying for it and you've been paying for it. You should absolutely take it. And that's not an entitlement program. You pay for that. Analog says Deputy AG Todd Blanche is blocking the investigations into Act Blue. Oh, okay. Lamau, skin color and gender. If you're single, female, or minority, welfare will accept your application. Yeah, that's probably right. I don't know. I don't have any experience with it, but I do have experience with being a white male and how those things are treated in terms of government programs. And, if I can tell you this, if it was hard to get welfare, the inner cities wouldn't be filled with people on welfare. I mean, look what happened when they just asked them to stop smoking weed. Do you remember when they tried to do that? Hey, if you're on welfare, you should be able to pass a drug test. And that was can't do it. I was like, well, I can't smoke weed on the job. Why the fuck can they? They work for me. I have a drug policy. If I'm paying for you, you can't smoke weed. Sorry. If you got time and money.
How could you do this?
I don't care what color you are, by the way. If you got time to smoke weed and money to buy it, you don't deserve government checks. You don't deserve to be on unemployment, period. Unless you're growing your own, okay? I'll give you an exception if you're growing your own, which I know they're not. But like the idea that, and by the way, as Luke pointed out, I don't want to be a doomer, but like automation is coming, friends. Yeah. Think about your job and how easily it can be done by a robot. And now spend your extra time learning a different trait, learning a different skill, because
nothing's safe. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what's the options? Like,
I think the government will try to step in and hold it off, but that will only be successful as long as the lobbyers.
They never did that though. In our recent history, when has the government intervened?
They put all sorts of regulations in place to try and slow progress.
How long did it the regulations take decades sometimes.
Oh, I know they're behind it on this one. I don't think they can.
And it's not that they can, they won't. If you look at whenever there are incredible transfers of wealth from society, like we had during COOF, like we had during the 2008 banking crisis, like we had in 2011 with exorbitant expenditures on foreign policy, the middle class and poor people got wrecked. Never has the government intervened and said, hey guys, no, wait, poor people and middle class people are getting wrecked here. We got to make sure that the billionaire class doesn't become bigger billionaires. Never, ever. And they're not going to do it this time.
Well, I think that they're going to try, but I do think that
they'll pretend.
Maybe. Yeah. It's going to be an election issue. I think it'll be an election issue in 2028. Like, you're going to start to see like big, so like if you're in computer programming right now, learn another skill. I'm telling you, like, even
what
if
do? You become a lawyer. Lawyers are being just absolutely destroyed too, because everyone's going to these AIs to write and read contracts for them now.
I have a video in the works on this. I mean, yeah, Jeremy's right. It's the youngest generation is turning to vocational trades like hands-on skills because they are difficult to automate away. So it gives them time.
That's the smart move.
Like what? You're going to become a lawnmower? As now there's AI robot lawnmowers.
No, you're gonna learn HVAC, plumbing, construction, carpentry, countertop installs, tile floors. There's a lot that is not going to be able to automate it away in our lifetime. And I'm not saying that's the only. There's obviously lots of other things, but like. These are jobs that still pay well.
It's one of the most attractive options considering how expensive college is and how much debt it accrues. And then to what? Get a laptop job that's going to be gone. I mean, again, I've talked about this article, but Deloitte had to pay Australia $700,000 because they used AI to generate a report that had bad information after laying off all of their consultants. I mean, it's easy to make fun of the consultant class, you know? They have their laptop jobs, they fly around, they do whatever, but they are one of the first people being hit by AI.
Rubber Toe says, started the stream late, but I watch Caleb all the time and he helped me start me get out of my debt journey. It's always the same story. 1,000 small dollar purchases that add up to thousands a month. Exactly. If you watch his videos, just watch his videos if you're having trouble with money. Like, I'm not going to shill some, so you don't need to pay somebody to get you out of debt. Just watch his videos and see and notice it's always the same shit. Where does he start? How much do you eat out? How much delivery food are you getting? How much Starbucks are you buying? How much, Red Bull are you drinking? How much? And it's like, somebody who makes $4,000 a month is suddenly like, wow, that's $600 a month. I'm pissing away on this stuff. It's like, yeah, that's almost 10 grand a year. And then they're like, well, I can't, I'm out of money. Well, okay. Well, how many streaming services you pay for? Well, 4. Do you need them? We all know there are other ways, but
yes, but the answer is no.
The answer is no. Right. You could get an HD TV antenna for $15 and get all the TV you want. And by the way, you don't need TV. You can get an HD antenna, which is what I did when we were struggling. Because why would I pay $80 a month for cable? And then I had other ways of watching movies. But like, you just you figure it out. And the reason his videos are so popular is because so many of these kids that meet with him are so like, they're like, what? I can't live without Ubering everywhere. He's like, you Ubered 6 blocks. That cost you $23. Couldn't you have walked? Well, like, and it's just like,
or get a bike.
Right. Get a bike, go to Goodwill and buy a bike for $10 and whatever. Like,
no, Goodwill bikes are $100.
That's true. Goodwill sucks.
That's how bad the economy is. You go to Goodwill and it's like, oh, it's like shopping a couple years ago.
Well, Goodwill hasn't been good for a while. Even St. Vinny's hasn't been good. That's what we have around. But rummage sales.
I went and looked at bikes. The cheapest bike you could get with flat tires is $100, and then you got to go to a bike store and you got to fix the tubes and you got to get new tires, and those are like sometimes $50 to $100. So $200 just for a used crappy bike. By the way,
well, maybe in Miami you could get one where I live for $8. Like they're
from
definitely
a crackhead who stole it. Maybe.
Well,
but,
I mean, I don't ask questions. An $8 bike.
When's the last time you've been to Goodwill?
2 weekends ago. I go there all the time.
And there was an $8 bike?
Not at Goodwill. No, not at Goodwill. Goodwill is garbage. Goodwill is basically full retail. Goodwill is now morphed into this thing where people donate. Like, the shit you donate to Goodwill is never for sale there. If you go into a Goodwill, it's all corporate write-off donations. And they have them listed. Like, I remember last time I was there, it was like maybe a week or two ago, they had a whole kiosk of like brand new, I don't know the name, but they were nice watches. And I was like, oh, these are nice watches. I looked at the price, they're like $80. I'm like, what the fuck? These should be like $6. What do you mean $80? And I look them up online. Sure enough, they're like $85 online. I'm like, oh, you're just pricing at retail? This isn't helping people. And they're like, oh, but the write-offs. I'm like, yeah, I get to write off $200 a year from Goodwill. Whatever the max is, like $100 or $200. It's completely irrelevant, but I do it every year out of principle. Cut to the chase. This huge problem is that people have no shame about being on food stamps anymore. And those that don't make content about it. That's very true. There should be some level of shame with government handouts, unless you're injured on the job, or again, if you're physically disabled or you got hurt on the job or you're whatever, like you shouldn't have shame because that's not something you can control. But yeah, people are like, I mean, there's literal rap songs celebrating, like I can't think of their name right now. Warren G. One of their biggest hits was "First of the Month." Or no, was that "First of the Month" was not that. It was they sang "Crossroads" too. Bone Thugs and Harmony, I think. But like no credit for that. That's an obscure rap reference, and you guys just let that slide, right? Come on, chat.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know why you're saying.
I don't expect you to know. Yeah. Whiskey Biscuit says, dude, I'm in California and I grow my own weed. You can get crazy expensive with your setup. No handouts if you can piss clean. No handouts if you can't piss clean. That's what to me, like anybody who works, that's like a totally normal thing. And they'll be like, oh, you guys are racist. That's racist. I mean, it's not racist. Just don't smoke. Don't do drugs when I'm paying for you want to get high? I think you should. Go get a job. I don't have any problem with you smoking weed. Go get a job and you can smoke all the weed you want. But when you work for me, you can't smoke weed. Ron Mucker says, you all need to slow down acting like electricity is going to be free Wait, I don't know what that means. Not sure what that means. Saying that people can't afford. Well, you can definitely control your habits. I bet you everybody in this chat could lower their electricity bill by 25% in a month if they just tried. If you were just cognizant about leaving your shit on, turning it off when you're not using it, don't run half loads of dishes.
Biggest, like, I remember every day at dinner he would be like, "Okay, let's talk about who left their lights on like when they left for school this morning."
It adds up.
Like, please stop. But like as an adult, I'm like, yeah, turn off every light. We're sitting here in the dark.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I turn off my studio lights, I turn off my computer, I turn like all this stuff gets turned off, and it adds up to be like $50 or $75 a month. Okay, well, how much is that over the year? That's $600-700 now you have over the year just by like not being lazy. If it's yellow, let it mellow, save a flush. Well, you don't actually save money, but I lower your water bill a little bit. But Sergeant says, I don't know, maybe I'm biased after having worked security for Section 8 projects, but how the hell are you going to be driving an H3 Hummer living on welfare? I've seen so much. Cut it now. Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen a lot of rims down in Milwaukee. My favorite thing is they put them on only on one side of the car that's facing the street. They don't put it on the other side. But like I see a lot of spinners on cars full of people that aren't at work. I'll put it that way. Macto says, I used to work across the street from welfare office. It was a joke that you had to have an Escalade with rims and 8 gold chains to get welfare. Yeah, see, people know. Again, we're talking about the thing with welfare. Usually I talk about like, oh, we're talking about a small percentage. I actually don't think there's a small percentage of welfare abuse. I think it is a lot. I think that it's more than 50% of people on welfare. If you cut them tomorrow, they would figure it out. They would go get a job. I mean, it's just nonsense. It's not me being out of touch. I've worked my whole life. I've struggled, and it's about what are people willing to do, and what are people willing. Are you willing to work third shift? Well, I don't want to work third shift. You know what? I worked. You know what? I picked my shift specifically at Walmart because there was a shift differential. Anytime I could work a third shift, it was like $2 more an hour, and I was like, I'll take it. I work weekends because you got $1 an hour more. I work nights because you got 50 cents more after 5 o'clock. Like I worked the shifts that people didn't want to work because I could earn a little bit more money. Jeremy, you have heated outside stairs only when I turn them on. And so they're not for those. You earned
That's
why they're not on all the time. They're on like if it snows, then I turn them on so the dogs don't fall down the stairs. But they're not on all the time. And again, I earned every penny I got. So even if they were on all the time, I'm not the one complaining I don't have money. That's the difference. Dude, I mean, CA and I grow. Oh, I got that one. Someone says, if you don't have kids, so you don't know real life. Why? When you have kids, you don't have to pay bills. When you have kids, you don't have to budget. When you have kids, you don't have to.
I feel like you've made some great points.
Yeah, I don't really. That's another loser's mentality. So what? Having kids for most people is a choice. Okay, let's start there. Second of all, you have to do the same shit I do. You have to budget your money. You have to spend wisely. No, your kid doesn't need name brand clothes. My parents never bought me that shit. My parents didn't buy me name brand food. They bought generic. Guess what? I was fat all the same. There's choices you make when times are tough. Kids or no kids that everybody else makes. That's such a cop out. Everyone has challenges. Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of people are just like, how do I say, like, well, hopefully some people will be inspired to, get I have
a lot of sympathy
take
for people
control
who
of their life.
are like overwhelmed by their finances. I think a lot of people get very anxious about money. They don't really know how to spend it, and in sort of closing their eyes to it, they remain in ignorance and might be making some unintentionally bad choices. It's just you just have to confront it. You have to budget, listen to some podcasts, it's the only way forward.
I was going to tell you, like, I definitely had that happen to me, and that's very normal. Like when I was going through it and I had all my credit cards basically maxed out, like I had hit rock bottom before I would go to my like parents, and I went to my parents and I was like, I fucked up. And they'd always say like, why didn't you come to us before you did this stupid thing, like take out an auto title loan? Why didn't you, well, it's because you're embarrassed, you're overwhelmed, and it's easier just to open another credit card. I've been there. Like my credit score was like below 500. It was like 515 when I got married. Like, believe me, like it is tough. But the only way I got out of debt was by lowering my spending and working more hours. Like my parents helped me out once or twice, but they were basically like, here, first of all, it's a loan, which I paid back. Second of all, it's like, look, you have to get a second job. If you have to get a second job and you have to do this, and they sat me down and like, here's what you're spending money on. You have to stop. And if you want to go out and have fun, now you have to get a second job, or you have to work 3 days a week at your second job, which is what I did. I worked Monday through Friday at the computer place and Saturdays. And I would work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at the pizza place. And guess what? I still had time to go to the bar. I still had time to hang out with my friends. And I still had time to, just people are just so defeated. And I get it. If you're staring at 30, 40, 50K in debt, I get how demoralizing that can be. How do you eat the elephant? Well, you start with a bite. That's all you can do. That's all you can. That's all I can say about it.
One of my favorite creator success stories that I've ever seen on the internet was this girl who had student loan debt. She was a teacher, like kindergarten, preschool, whatever, but she had debt from college, student loan debt. So she started flipping furniture, like buying it really cheap and fixing it, refinishing it, whatever, and then selling it on Facebook Marketplace. And eventually it became so big that I think she left her teaching job. Like, she was making social media money, but also like the furniture itself. She paid off her debt in it doesn't happen for everyone all the time, but like way faster than she expected to. It was very cool to see.
Yeah, I'm also fine with people, responsibly deciding, I don't have a problem with how people get out of debt, because fuck the banks. Like, if you got a BK to get out of debt, I don't care. Now, if you're on your third bankruptcy, I'm getting a little pissed at you. But like, if you make a mistake, you end up this set and stuff, whatever, it's your choice, but there's a lot of ways to get out of debt. The first step is confronting it as a reality. Why don't you guys let them know? I want to talk about this, the H1-B thing. And then I was going to talk about the car repos, but we kind of touched on that with when I see stuff like this in the economy, car repos, these are a big precursor. Those are very, very that's where it starts. People's car repossessions go up, and you can basically say in 2 to 3 years, things are going to be bad. And the reason, quite frankly, the car repos have gone up is because people overpaid like crazy. I didn't read this article, but I'm going to guess people got into trouble during COVID. They overpaid for cars that they couldn't afford, and they got interest rates that were predatory, and repos are going up. That's what my guess is. Oh, here you go. Yeah, when COVID hit, prices went through the roof. Exactly. Now, I will say again, did you need a new car during COVID? Did you know, everybody knew, I had an employee that bought a car during COVID, and it was like, you paid double what that car's worth. And now the car's, you owe a lot of money on the car, and the car isn't worth anything. Like, did you need a new car? Could you have waited? And, again, it's a tough pill to swallow, but think of my parents always said to me, life is about choices. And usually if you have the humility to look at it, most people are in the position for their own decisions. Most people. It's just the reality. But anyway, you'll be able to get a really good deal in a few months, guaranteed. Although you don't really want to buy repo cars, because those are usually beat to shit. But, whatever it is. Tell the people where they can find your content.
You can find my content on Rumble and YouTube. It's Hannah Claire B in both places. That's the name of my channel, Hannah Claire B. I'm also Hannah Claire B on X. A video out this week. I'm going to talk about some stuff that's thematic to what we're talking about here. So if you're interested in how the teens are preparing for their futures, keep an eye out for that. Again, it's Hannah Claire B on YouTube, Rumble, and X.
Yeah, thank you. I'll go check out some of your stuff too. You can check out my stuff, youtube.com/wearechange. I'll just post it in the comment section. I'm releasing a video soon in a few minutes about the 3-eye atlas and the Harvard professor telling people to take their vacations now because there might be major changes to our society because of it.
Yep.
Now he was more joking, but there's a lot of other alien stuff, and the fight between NASA and Elon Musk is also very interesting. So I did a full deep dive on aliens, drones, interdimensional beings. It's coming out in a few minutes. The video before that is talking about right-wing, false flag violence. So go check it out, youtube.com/We Are Change. I appreciate everyone's attention and time with me.
Well, you're already watching me. I've already talked so much. Let me kick this topic over to you. Another hot button topic for me is H1B visa. Trump put $100,000 tax on the H1B visa, and suddenly all these Indians that couldn't possibly be found anywhere else are no longer being hired, including Walmart saying, "Nah, we're good on H1Bs." To me, I thought these were generational talents, Hannah Claire, that could only be found next to piles of shit in India. They could only be found groping women on the Indian streets. But now it turns out when there's a tax on that generational talent, suddenly people don't want them anymore.
It's crazy. It's like the one in a million talented person that you need your company to survive that you want to take from a different place is actually not as useful as you thought they were. And maybe we have smart people at home. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe, some of the Americans on EBT won't have to be on EBT anymore because there'll be a bunch of job offerings at Walmart now.
Yeah, maybe that's exactly how this works. If we look at August, I believe it was August or July, U.S.-born job numbers, foreign-born job numbers were down nearly 500,000 and U.S.-born were up 2 million, representing literally all of the new hires. Like, double it. Get rid of these H-1Bs. And by the way, deport all the ones that are here. Like, we're full. This is what's Walmart worth? $1 trillion? I thought if these people are so important to Walmart, they can't afford $100,000 tax. That's crazy, especially because that tax is also an expense that would be written off. And suddenly now they don't want to hire them. This is going against everything I've been told by the people at these corporations. I thought that these were the best of the best guys. I thought,
tier.
Yeah, these are top. When you read about it on CNN, they're like, it's really going to cripple companies who use this for primarily for, there's some fancy word, like primarily for impossible to find people. I'm like, well, an impossible to find person isn't worth $100,000 to IBM. That's odd.
I bet they are. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if they really, really, really are that important, they'll pay the fee. But likely, we have worker at home. We have people.
How about you pay 80,000 of that 100,000 on top of the salary to an American? So if you were going to pay 100,
what a thought.
Yeah, like, oh wow, you can. I mean, by the way, I'm talking about tech people right now who have been decimated by the invasion of Pajeets. Like, you're paying tech people $80,000, $80,000 probably, maybe more, but those people probably aren't getting replaced by H1B. So you're probably $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 person. If you can pay $50,000 or $100,000 to bring in some Indian, then you can pay an American $120,000. Meet in the middle, $125,000. Suddenly Americans are making more money, and Americans are getting better paying jobs, and maybe their wife can retire or their husband can be a stay-at-home dad. Like, these companies have. The fee is working exactly as intended.
It's perfect. I mean, it's also a simple solution to this chronic problem. I think the H-1B system, I mean, we're talking about a lot of government systems that are being abused. I think everyone should pick up on the theme. H-1B is one of them. I don't think that we had the massive uproar in December for no reason. Like, the idea that these are jobs that we either don't have the talent in America to fill is, to me, that one is just like maybe every 1 in a million. Like, there are so many highly educated Americans that I bet could take these roles, or that you're actually just skirting around employment measures. You're hiring people for less money or whatever dark loophole corporations are using to get around basically American labor standards. It's not a beautiful system that's helping migrants get to America and do whatever. Like, it hurts our population. It's one of the forms of legal immigration that I think ultimately harms our country, because if you have H1B, typically it's a pathway to chain migration through allowing relatives to come over. It's a system that actually breeds a lot of negative consequences. So what? Walmart can pay someone more like a cheap salary over an American? Like, no thanks.
Somebody said that's per company, by the way. I don't think that's true. I think it is per person, because the company would pay it. Amazon would pay $100,000. They have 14,700 H1Bs. I think it's per person.
Especially when it comes to having, a worker that's afraid to buck the system or be a little controversial or ask for a little bit more, because they understand that their legal status is related towards their kind of employment with this one particular company that also looms over their kind of immigration status. This is interesting to see Trump do this, because, in the beginning of this year,
he did pussy out on it. He pussied out on a lot of this hard policies.
Along with Elon Musk as well.
Hang on one second. The $100,000 is $100,000 per year for H1B worker visa. So I think it's every year for each visa. So it could add up to be a lot.
Love it. More. Now do it for student visas.
Yeah.
Sorry, Luke, go ahead.
No. There was also another major car crash that happened in California that I'm also seeing on Twitter right now. Is a lot of people are saying, well, is this also just another person that
another illegal who has a driver's license name not given?
Yeah, and this is an issue that the governor of Florida is bringing up. And but it looks like this guy in California was intoxicated. He was 21 years old, which is horrible. 3 people died. Yeah, it was just absolutely awful.
Was he driving a truck, like a big rig?
Yeah. I'll send it to you in the chat. I always send a bunch of stuff in the chat, but it's very horrible video. I don't know if you want to play it. But the governor of Florida says, look, it's crazy that California could just give a lot of these migrants driver's license when they don't even speak English. They don't pass any of the qualifications. They have their friends pass the test for them.
I watched it.
And then they literally are driving in places like Florida, and there's victims of people not taking, driver safety very seriously. And then boom, we have this result. So there's a lot of kind of consequences, especially when it comes to the H-1B visa program that I think is worth considering. But I think most importantly, allowing Americans to work and giving Americans more kind of employment is something that is a big benefit towards cutting the program.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you see that video that Sean Parnell tweeted out about the truck driver? Like, it was an American truck driver, big rig. He's got a camera on himself, camera on the outside, and he's driving past a truck that's being driven the wrong way.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, again, that is people wrong companies and big government wrongfully pretend that this is a job applicant problem. This is not that. This is a training problem. This is an investment problem. This is trucking companies want to pay a Mexican immigrant $40,000 because they have to pay a seasoned American trucker $80,000. It's like a tale as old as time. The same nonsense of like, who will pick your strawberries, sir? Americans will. We did for the entirety of our entire life in America until recently, where we're like, well, let's get migrants. Because it's why? Not because Americans wouldn't do it. It's because they would do it cheaper. And this nonsense of like, well, if you have an American picking your strawberries, you're going to have to be wrong. Because the market will decide. The market will decide that whether or not strawberries are important to it or not, or blueberries or whatever, pomegranates, okay? Like, or we'll import them, which is also fine. Like, this stuff works itself out. The same with the trucking industry and with IT. Oh my God, we just need so many programmers. That's why we're bringing in all these street shitters. No. You want cheap slave labor. That's what you want. You want workers, like Luke said, that are never going to ask to take the 4th of July off, that are going to be fine if they have to work on Christmas. Why? Because their entire family's freedom depends on it. Like that. I mean, I understand they're in a bad situation and living in India sucks. Sorry, we're full. Yeah, for every 10 people in the United States, 1 is a government employee, 5 are unemployed, and 4 have productive jobs. Well, that's not true. That's not true. That's saying that there's 50% unemployment.
Well, no, when you calculate elderly and children.
That's not what he said. Oh, a good number of the unemployed are retirees and children. So that's not the problem here. The problem is that 10% of the entire population works for a government, local, state. Well, I mean, honestly, if this guy had done the math better, he's being clickbaity, but the 1 in 10 as a government employee would be higher then. If he takes out children and retired, then it would probably be 2 in 10, right?
Hold on. I think there's like is there 20 or 30 million government employees?
Who knows right now?
21.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know. Look it up. Lyman says,
I am.
Okay, I'm in tech. There are so many Indians working on visas. In my experience, most of them doing contractor jobs that only require a few weeks of training. Difficult jobs with high requirements are almost always done by citizens. True, but I would like the contractor jobs to be done by citizens too.
Mm-hmm.
I would like American citizens to enrich themselves as being hired guns and not.
Well, if you don't take 1 week of training, you could train an American person. Yes.
Yeah. Then I mean, why aren't we using this? Why aren't we using our prison to work program to train nonviolent criminals how to do programming? If we can train a fucking Indian what is India's average IQ? I know this is getting into some dangerous territory. But I'm going to just average IQ in India. Okay. 75. That is barely over the level of in America of retardation. Below 60,
76.24.
Yeah. Okay. 76.24. If you're below 60, you're mentally retarded. Okay. I think we could take a lot of nonviolent offenders from prisons and teach them how to do coding. There's probably a lot of people on welfare that could learn coding, at least for these entry level jobs that Pajits Indian people are doing. So I just we'll say America then. USA is probably not much higher. 98. So I'm pretty sure we can handle it. The average IQ of an American is 20% higher than an Indian. I think your average American, even if untrained, could do what any Indian is doing. That's the big, I get so worked up at it's.
No, I think it'd be fun if you got called to testify before a labor, congressional labor committee, and be like, let's bring in Jeremy for the quartering.
Yeah.
And I just rattle off some of these fun statistics. You go viral. It'd be amazing.
Well, I mean, don't tell me you can't train an American to do it. We are on average 20 to 25% smarter than any Indian. So why do we need them? Why do we need to import hundreds of thousands of them a year? We don't.
But Jeremy, diversity, it's our strength.
Yeah, well, that's fine. If you pass an IQ test and you're Indian and it's 125 or higher, you can get an H1 visa. 125. I'm not saying.
Also, maybe we just pause them for a while, until the American unemployment rate is up, until we figured out some of this stuff.
Whatever the baseline is. What's the lowest effective rate? Because you don't want it low. It's 1%. It's never really zero.
Well, you want net. I would want net zero migration, because they're always people leaving, Americans who leave the country to live abroad. There are always people. There's a little bit of ebb and flow, but
yeah, fine. Net zero migration and a sub 2% unemployment rate, and then we'll talk. And then we'll talk about who we want to take. Because
guys, Jeremy's coming to the immigration moratorium party. I love it.
Yeah, I'm fine. Give me 20 years. 20 years, zero, no H1B visas, no special visas, period. None.
I just want companies that operate in America that live and die on American dollars to then look on ways they can develop local labor forces, right? They should.
Why don't they train? Why doesn't Microsoft have? Who talked about that and lied about it? Wasn't it Mark Cuban? Somebody famous who was like, I'm going to start a university to teach people how to do coding. Who was that? Do you guys remember that? They never fucking did it. But why isn't Microsoft doing that? Because they don't give a shit about this country.
It's cheaper elsewhere.
Right.
I think they also understand AI is going to do it for them.
No, but okay, fine. But where were they? Why weren't they doing the last 20 years?
That's true. Yeah.
They could have had a pipeline of getting developers 125 IQ is well above average. Good. That's what I want. I don't want average IQs. We have those in America. We don't need more. I'm an average IQ. You don't want more guys like me. You want smart people. Like, if you are, like, these visas are supposed to be for extraordinary people. You know, if you have a 75
highly
IQ,
specialized, very,
you should have 125 or higher IQ, and like, you know, you should actually be high value. Does anybody remember somebody? I forget it, but it would have been such a good burn, because I feel like it was Mark Cuban or some other wokey or something that said that. But it's like, well, we don't train our people. Oh my God, a 35-year-old man could never learn how to program. Let's bring off somebody who doesn't know how to use toilet paper. They can learn. Like, I don't, is so denigrating to like the American people and the American spirit and like entrepreneurial, like, Americans aren't dumb. They're lazy.
I just read this book called Hillbilly Women, and it's about women who live in Appalachia and their experiences. And one of the things they talk about is that with huge consequences, they were the backbone of a lot of our like textile and like industrial force in America, like think Rust Belt. And eventually companies were like, we don't want to deal with paying you, so we're just going to ship the jobs overseas. And it I mean, we all know the fallout of these types of things.
But you can protect, with tariffs and stuff like that. Like Luke said, well, they've never done that. That's not true. When GM wanted to ship his car manufacturing in Mexico, what did Trump do? He imposed a 100% tariff, and GM built a new factory here.
Right.
Like, you can do that. And like,
well, it's just like there are workers here. Like, it's actually an incorrect narrative that Americans don't want to work or are unwilling to do jobs or cannot be trained or don't need this type. Like, we should be prioritizing our domestic labor force before we bring in other people. And it's not even to be like bigoted or mean. It's just like our economies need it, especially if you're an immigrant community. Like, if you're sending your money to another country that you earn in America, that's not helping us either. There are so many issues at play. And when you start talking about it, people are so scared of being called, you know, racist or like anti-immigrant or whatever. Like, no,
I am anti-immigrant.
You're just pro-American. I mean, maybe you are anti-immigrant too, but like, let's prioritize American communities. Yeah,
that's another great point about like, these people come here and they work and they don't invest in anything. In this, they don't build communities here. They don't participate in society here. They live 6 to a 1-bedroom apartment, and they send their money back to India or Mexico or Bangladesh or wherever their family is. They are a net negative on American society in every conceivable way. They might be fine people.
I don't fault them for sending their money back to their families.
Right.
Like, yeah, this is a system they have to use, but it's not good for American culture.
No, they might be fine people. I'm sure most of them are, but I live in America and I'm American. I give a shit about America, and I care about Americans getting the jobs. And that isn't, like Hannah Claire said, that isn't me hating foreigners. I love Americans, and I want them to succeed, and I want them to have great jobs. And I want a president who will have the balls like Trump does and says, oh, you're moving a factory to Mexico to save. And by the way, this is a huge misnomer. You know, like GM wasn't moving, or Chevy, I forget who it was, but I think it might have been Chevy, or I forget, chat maybe tell me, but like, these people aren't moving their factories to Mexico so that they can maintain their low prices for Americans. They're moving their factories there to increase their profit margins. They're like, well, don't you like my cheap stuff? Hey, maybe we don't need 45 options at sedan. Maybe we don't need 500 different manufacturers of a low budget vehicle. Maybe whoever can manufacture in America, maybe Kia just needs to be the only person that makes cars. I don't know. But if they're the ones that offer the car at an affordable price and they have the best product, then, and by the way, Kia's making good stuff. Every time I see a Kia now, I'm like, dang, that's a nice looking car. What is that? I'm like, a Kia? Ugh.
They did their little label rebrand. And
the label rebrand looks awesome. And like the angles on their new cars, like, I don't know if their cars are worth a shit, but I'm saying they look nice. But I'm just saying, like, I say Kia because they're like an affordable car. But like, maybe Nissan and Kia need to be, maybe Ford and Chevy don't need to exist anymore. Like, people are so afraid to say this shit. But like, you know, millions of Fords are recalled every year. It's not like they're the best car ever. maybe this idea that like, no, it does not. It's not the new logo sucks. I happen to like it. Their new logo is kind of hard to read, but
I thought it was like a brand new car brand the first couple times I saw it because I couldn't read it.
Hyundai also, like, they did that with their Genesis brand. Those Genesis are nice looking cars. Like, they're an older guy car, I think, but I mean, Hyundai's they have like 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. Chevy and Ford don't offer that. But cars are just one example. But like, I'm not saying Kia's good. I know Hyundai's are a reliable engine. I know that for, those Jap engines are good, but like, I'm just saying, like, if you want to move all these factories and you say, well, the only way we can exist is with Mexican labor, then you shouldn't exist. Because there's a lot of people making cars in America that aren't doing that are making cars right here. Teslas are made right here in America. Okay. Yes, they, import their battery stuff you want to, but I mean, there's a lot of cars that are made in America that, maybe get cheaper with less competition. I don't know.
Well, I know a lot of people who were especially like, 10 years ago when people were like just getting into Teslas, that were saying, yeah, maybe it's a little bit more expensive than I would spend on a car, but it will last longer and I will save in these other ways. Like people do.
How about not paying $300 a month for gas?
Like people do shift their mindset on spending money if it seems like it's going to last them a long time. Yeah. We don't have to feed them a cheap stuff that's also disposable mentality.
Or maintenance. There's rarely any maintenance except for the tires for a lot of these like Tesla vehicles as well, which is extremely effective. Like I changed out I have I have one of the Tesleezys, and the only thing I ever spend money on is windshield wiper fluid and tires. That's it.
Yeah, I've never. We had a Model 3 for 4 years, never put a dime into it. We had a Model S for 3 or 4 years now. We never put a dime into it. And I've never put brakes in them. There's no brakes. You don't have to do the brakes. You do brakes every 100,000 miles. I'm not saying, again, yes, we're going to trigger all the people who hate Teslas, but you know what? My little cousin was a nurse, and she is a nurse, and she was spending $450 a month to drive from her house to the hospital to work at. And I was like, that's like a free Tesla, literally. She's like, I hate Teslas. I'm like, but it's like $450 a month is your payment. And like, you have a brand new free car, but she was driving like a 4Runner. She was driving like an SUV or something. I was like, you can just have a free car and not have a payment. Like, and she bought one, and she's like, I don't love it, but I love that I have $500 a month extra, and I'm driving a brand new car instead of like, So
now you do pay for the electricity, which does add up, right? Especially with electricity prices going up as well.
Yeah,
but
she does have certain benefits where her work, they have chargers at their work that they don't have to pay for. So, but yeah, not everyone has that. And if you live in an apartment, you can't get a charger. I don't want to go down that road.
A calculation, right? Like if you drive long distances regularly, I've heard Teslas are not that great because you have to it's all calculation. It's just an example of like a way people shift their mindset when spending. For some people, a Tesla might be a bigger initial payout.
Yeah, they're definitely more expensive.
They're saving, right? This is the calculation. I think that's we're having a very economic budget. How do you spend your money themed episode today? We should have had someone on with financial planning skills.
Hey, I've been dirt poor. And I've been doing all right. I mean, I consider myself an expert at fucking up finances. I mean, Luke almost went to jail. He was so bad with his money. You've got like 2 people at least on this panel that have.
I thought the jail was just because of spicy memes,
No, it was actual federal prison.
No, it was probably a combination. It was probably a combination of all those things, to be quite honest, because a lot of people get away with this stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Right. They do for a while, but they're usually famous, or whatever the case is. But yeah, I do like the, I do like the, look, money is a sensitive thing for people. I want to kick it over to Viva here before he's done. Money is sensitive. And if people feel like offended, understand that like, at least when I'm talking, I can only speak for the shit that I'm talking about, but like, I've been there. If you like want to talk about it, you can email me and I'll try to give you some advice. Like, I've done it all. I've done payday loans. I've done fucking auto title loans, debt consolidation. It was all bad. But like, I've been there. And like, sometimes you just need someone to be a little bit of an asshole. And that's just, wait, what time is it? Oh, I'll be on Dr. Drew tonight, by the way. 7 Eastern. I'm trying to get out there and do more appearances to try and bring us more eyeballs on our show.
Okay.
But what do you guys got going on before I kick us over to Viva? I know tomorrow it's Astrocast, so it'll be a little bit lighter. But I'm particularly, a lot of my friends, I've started in tech. A lot of my friends had their complete livelihoods destroyed by Indians taking their job. And I'm also triggered by people who put themselves in bad financial situations. Not that part, but refuse to accept it and refuse to, because I busted my dick to get out of debt. It took years and years and years and years to fix my credit score. And like, when people are like acting like there's no path to redemption, it's just so nonsense, but anyway, tell the people what you guys got going on, where they can find you before we kick it over to Viva Fry.
You guys can find my work on Rumble, YouTube. I'm also on X. It's all Hannah Claire B. Like I said, I'll have another video out. I'm doing a video on some of the job opportunities, some educational programs that are being offered to young people as our economy changes and Gen Z basically says college is not worth it. So I hope you'll check that out. It should be up very shortly. It's Hannah Claire B on YouTube, Rumble, and X.
Yep. YouTube.com/we are change. YouTube.com/we are change. I did a recent video where I was talking about like some of my supplements because I was like, I have no money.
How are you feeling, by the way? Yeah. How are you feeling, by the way?
Better.
Yeah.
I went through my protocol 3 videos ago or 4 videos ago. I went through my health protocol of how I got better and what I learned, what I should have been doing better and why I got sick and how to prevent it from happening. So if you want to check that out, youtube.com/we are change. I'll post it in the comment section. And I talk about a lot of, personal wellness, health stuff and, health is wealth. And I messed up on mine, but I got over it in like a day or two. So I had my own little special technique, trick, and little, hippy dippy type of stuff that I implemented that worked pretty well.
Ever since I started like being more serious about like supplement protocols, even if I do get sick, it's like for a day and it's never as bad. Like I used to get sick for weeks and weeks, but like once I got on my own protocol too, like I almost never get sick. I felt like a little something. I feel like I talked about that. Like I went to a family event and there was some flu going around, but it never really got me. Like I felt it kind of lurking in the shadows, trying to butt fuck me. But I just stayed on my quercetin and elderberry, and I doubled up on stuff and doubled up on my vitamin C, and I just beat it, and I never got sick.
I made a mistake because I decided to cycle off. You're supposed to cycle on and off of supplements and pills.
Yeah.
So I reckon. But I cycled off when I was just finishing my crazy trip from Austin and Arizona, and I was exhausted and I was overworked. And I was like, I'm going to cycle off. And I'm like, what am I doing? And then I got sick and I'm like, oh gosh. And I'm like, I'm an idiot. And then like more supplements and then sauna. I should have, if I was smart, I would have rested and not worked, but I can't stop doing that because of the financial pressure I'm on. So I kept working 7 days a week like I always do. And that would have healed me right up. But obviously can't do that.
Well, with that, take care of yourselves, everyone. Tomorrow we'll be back with Astrocast and with Melanie Mack, and it is the Bestrocast. Go say hi to Viva and ask him about Lindsey Graham's ladybugs.
No, don't do this to Viva.
Ask him about it. Yeah, he needs to know. All right, everyone, you guys have a good day. We'll see y'all later.